Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be the key dates in the narcissistic relationship. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So throughout the length of the relationship that you were in with the narcissist, or perhaps you're still in it getting the wisdom, there are pivotal key dates sprinkled throughout that whole relationship. And this is how the tide shifts and turns throughout the relationship. And I'll jump right in right now, giving you a prime example. Let's say that you met the narcissist and you fell in love with them, and they were giving you all the fake adoration, the fake empathy, the fake kindness and genuineness and fake humanity. And they drew you in, and then they sank their dirty fangs into you to get you to fall in love with them. Remember, the narcissist cannot fall in love with you. You're now getting that wisdom, and you're understanding that these people are bottomless pits. They have no core or substance to them. They just draw people into relationships. But if that was you, you probably remember when you met the narcissist. You probably remember where you were, maybe even what they were wearing, etc. This is how your life turned. It's how you remember certain key moments in time. So let's put the narcissist on the side for a minute. What key dates do you remember in your life? You probably remember something or a couple things from childhood, maybe when you graduated high school or university, maybe when you relocated or got your first condo or house or your job, whatever. Those are key dates, and they're all throughout your life. But with the narcissist, these key dates are dates that are drilled into your head forever, and it's very challenging to try and remove them from your mindset. But when you met the narcissist, that is definitely one of them, because you probably, if you fell in love with them, you probably thought that this person was the yin to your yang, or the person that completed you, or your soulmate, or this would be the best relationship ever, because they were mirroring back to you everything that you were saying and the things that you wanted to see. The narcissist is a master manipulator. They know what they're doing, and they knew when you first met them that you perhaps were a people pleaser, a yes person, an empath, a person that didn't have boundaries, a person that would put them high up on the pedestal, that is the narcissist, to the detriment of yourself. In other words, you were putting people way ahead of yourself. You weren't taking care of yourself the way you should have. You didn't know what you know now. But back then, let's say you did fall in love with them. Well, the key date right there would be when you met them. Another key date would be, say you married them. Well, your wedding day, I'm sure you remember that. And that day or the evening, usually when you're getting married, it goes very well. Not when you're marrying the narcissist. Not at all. Many times those wedding days are blown up, or the wedding nights are blown up. Certainly after the wedding bells have rung, that's when the devaluation really begins, because they know they have you locked down. They know you're not going anywhere, and also they know that you are in love, and also they know that you are entering the trauma bond if you're not already in it. But that would be another thing, the wedding day. Think about how the energy shifted from the minute you went from being single to being married. Well, you were euphoric, you were happy. This is great. I found the person I want to spend the rest of my life with and raise a family and do things like that. That's right, but that's what you looked at the wedding as. You looked at the marriage as a union of two people. That's not what the narcissist saw. They saw an opportunity in you, somebody who could pay the bills, someone who could pay the vacations, pay tuition, buy cars, offer fancy dinners, and provide a lifestyle that they could not provide for themselves on their own. That's exactly what they saw in you, opportunities. But that's another thing. The wedding would be a second key date. Now let's go throughout the body of the relationship. Let's say it was a friendship. You met this individual, and let's say you met them on the golf course, or you met them in a hobby group that you were part of. Well, what did they do? They perhaps came at you as a victim and said, hey, I've had such a tough life. I just want to have a friend. Can we just be friends, or just hang out or spend time, things like that? And you, because you were a kind, loving individual, you didn't know about narcissism, so you probably said yes. Well, then what happened? Well, you kept going to those hobby groups, and the people that you knew in the groups were not talking to you nearly as much, because the narcissist twisted around the narrative and began to send the smear campaign and talk bad things about you, or not good things about you. And next thing you know, the narcissist perhaps is wearing the clothes that you're wearing, and they are driving the car you're driving. They're hanging out with your friends or your group. And what happens there? Well, you slowly realize that this person wanted to be you the whole time. I hear that so frequently during one-on-one sessions. The mimicker, the copier, the person that is so boringly unoriginal, they have to have the same haircut as the target, or the same clothes as the person. And that person perhaps was you. If it was you, drop comments below. But you'll remember that. You'll remember that gym. You'll remember the date you met them. And you'll remember the experience and how it seemed like it was a good friendship, but nothing could have been further from the truth. Let's go back to the romance relationship for a minute. Let's say that you were married and you had kids. Okay, well, that was a key date too. Did that relationship turn once the kids were born or shortly thereafter? It probably did. Now, I really hope you pause the video here and understand what I'm telling you. When you're in the romantic relationship with the narcissist, and any of these things I'm mentioning to you on this video happened with you, that's when usually the relationship takes a twist. It goes down a different avenue, and it usually isn't good for you. It's usually an avenue of when the narcissist is gonna do some more damage to you. Example, you have kids. Okay, well, what was your job? Was it to raise the kids? Was it to provide for the kids, to love the kids? Of course it was. Was the narcissist MIA when you gave birth to your kids? Was the narcissist around when the child was born? Think about what I'm sharing with you. Those are key dates. The narcissist should have been there when the babies were born. Why? Because that is life, and that's what we do. We celebrate life, especially if you created it. You want to be around there. But so frequently I hear that the father, i.e. the narcissist of the baby, wasn't even anywhere in the hospital. As a matter of fact, they were out somewhere else on an alleged long weekend with buddies or friends. Think about what I'm sharing with you. All of these things are key pivotal dates, and it starts off the upbringing of the child in not a good way, because now when the child entered the world, it's only the mom around there. And this is the example I'm sharing with you, but the dad was nowhere to be found. Is that a good thing? No, it's a horrible thing. Just a couple years ago, when these two people were married, they took the wedding vows, and they both thought they were headed in the same direction, but the narcissist looked at this person to provide a baby for them and to completely invalidate and or devalue the offering of life. I hope you understand what I'm sharing with you here. That's another key date. Another key date is the day you got discarded or you ended it yourself. Let's take the discard first. Many people that were discarded, and that's the majority of the people in the community, these individuals never saw the discard coming, or they sensed something was wrong, it was off, but they couldn't quite put their finger on it because they didn't know what narcissism was. And then lo and behold, perhaps they came home one day, the whole house was emptied. Next thing you know, they're scratching their head, but they're caught up in the trauma bond, and they're still thinking that the narcissist will come back. But the narcissist did this on purpose. They inflicted the discard by emptying your house, and you had no idea about it. Why? To create the most pain, the most suffering, the most commiseration. And the narcissist, remember this, they will never give you closure. So back then, you probably were looking to contact the narcissist to ask them, what's going on? Who does this to somebody? We've been married 6 years. I don't get this. What is it? Well, the narcissist already had the new supply lined up, and you did not know what the new supply was. Maybe you don't even know what it is now. It's the person that took your place. It's the person that the narcissist is now taking advantage of, manipulating, draining all their assets and resources from. That's the person who thinks they just won the lottery and entered the best relationship of all time. But again, the cycle goes around and around and around, and the narcissist is the one constant in the cycle. They just want to insert new unsuspecting individuals in that relationship, and at one point that was you. It was definitely me. All of these things I'm sharing with you are key dates of the narcissistic relationship. So the discard, you'll never forget that day. There's no way you will, because that's ingrained in your life. That's the day your life changed for what you thought was the worst day of your life, or one of them, and it turned out to be a big blessing in disguise when you have healed, when you have processed childhood wounds, when you have journaled, when you have meditated, when you have slowed your life down, when you have seen a therapist who unfortunately will have experienced the toxic narcissistic relationship themselves. When you do these things and more, and you understand that the discard, for those of you who haven't healed, please take this with a grain of salt, because you will get there in time, in your time. It is my hope you get to where I am, which is the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. But the discard day, it goes from being the worst day of your life, or one of them, no question about it, to once you've healed, to becoming a blessing in disguise. Now, I'm saying that on this video specifically to let you know, when you've healed properly and you get the wisdom and you apply the tools, you'll understand that, did you want to get discarded? Absolutely not. No way. But you didn't know then what you know now, because now you see the world through a brand new set of eyes. This is a superpower, and you can now identify a toxic narcissistic individual at the drop of a hat, and you can run for the hills, and now you don't overshare, and now you don't believe that everyone has your best interest at heart, or that everyone thinks like you. But you do know that many people are envious of you, many people want to be you, many people are jealous of you. All these things I'm mentioning are very important key dates of the narcissistic relationship. Think about this one. Let's say that you haven't seen your kids in years. Think about when the last time you saw the kids were, or the grandkids. Well, that's a key date in your mind. And this video is not trying to trigger you or upset you. This is real life. These people walk the planet. They're everywhere. They are your moms, your dads, your neighbors, your bosses, your coworkers, people on airplanes, people on trains, automobiles. They're everywhere. So you need to understand that applying the tools that I provide for you is an instrumental way to get through this thing called life with boundaries and barriers in place. You did not have these things back when you were in the narcissistic relationship because you did not know what narcissism was. You weren't taught this in school. Nobody was taught this in school. That's why, again, many people claim, oh yeah, I was in a toxic relationship, or that person's a narcissist, etc. Well, that word's kind of being flung around a lot these days. If you've been through the fire and risen through the ashes like a phoenix, you know exactly in a second when you look in somebody's eyes if they've been through it or not. That's just the way it works. So we need to use that word with caution, and we need to know what we're talking about. That's why I created the channel, to educate people, to pay it forward, to provide tools for people who don't even know that they're in a narcissistic relationship. And that's the path. That's what we should be doing, helping others out. Remember, at one point, you did not know what narcissism was. Now you do. You're getting the wisdom. And you need to do the same thing. Once your cup is full, you need to pay it forward if you can. In any way possible, you need to help spread the word and get the education out there. But the key dates in the narcissistic relationship with the kids, like I said, kids or grandkids, when's the last time you saw them? If it's been a long time, that's not a coincidence. It's on purpose, because you're probably being parental alienated or grandparental alienated, if you get that part. All of these things are key dates in the narcissistic relationship. What about the day you got divorced? Maybe you waited a month, a year, 2 years, 3 years to get divorced because the narcissist was dragging it out longer and longer, and they were slowly bleeding your finances and slowly bleeding your health and your mental capacity and your emotions and everything, because they know what they're doing. Well, you finally got that divorce. That was a pivotal day. That's a key date in the narcissistic relationship. Same thing when you divided the assets, or you used a mediator and split at the assets in the divorce in that way. Well, that was a key date too. You'll never forget that day, because that's the day you broke the chains. You broke the shackles. You shed the weight of the narcissistic relationship off your back. And did it take time to heal from all that? Absolutely, it always does. Remember this, side note, there's always a financial cost in the narcissistic relationships. There's also a spiritual cost, an emotional cost, and there's a physical cost, among many others. All these things are what encompass the narcissistic relationship. There are key dates sprinkled all throughout them. How about this one? When the narcissist would go on an alleged long weekend on a business trip, or they would go away with their fishing buddies and disappear. But this wasn't once, this was every other weekend, and that turned into every weekend. Well, these are not good things, are they? No. But that you could identify when that started to happen. When that started to happen, that means that certainly there was a new supply in the background somewhere being groomed, or multiple sources of supply, but it was under the guise of these people going on fishing trips or weekend seminars, whatever it was. That's not what was happening exclusively. There's a lot going on behind the scenes here with the toxic narcissistic relationship and with the secrets the narcissist keeps, which is a video I'll create very soon. How about this one? The narcissist, the day that the flying monkeys actually appeared, you figured out who a flying monkey was. Well, that's a key date. You thought these people were your friends, and now you're understanding, you're listening to the words they're saying, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a flying monkey. And they're just trying to get information from me. Well, that's a big thing. Maybe this just happened to you today, and you're realizing that that person who texted you, but they haven't contacted you in 2 years, they're reaching out to you because the narcissist is prodding them to do so, because they can get information through that proxy, that flying monkey. Well, that's a key date. These things are all sprinkled throughout the narcissistic relationship. The thing is, you were never supposed to discover them. You were never supposed to figure them out. You were supposed to be trapped in that zombie-like, trance-like state, the narcissistic fog. That's where the narcissist wanted you. They wanted to bleed you dry of all of your resources and assets and your time, your energy, your money, your love, your empathy. And they wanted to throw you away and crumble you up like a sheet of paper on the freeway when they had your replacement lined up, which is the new supply. And if you were discarded, that's what happened. That is exactly how these people go gallivanting the globe, looking for unsuspecting individuals, or recycling past relationships that these people either A, are toxic themselves, B, haven't broken the trauma bond, or C, they don't have the wisdom, they don't have the education, they have not gone no contact, blocked the narcissist, and deleted all flying monkeys and people associated with them. Remember, if you can do that, do it now. If not now, when? What are you waiting for? If you can't block the narcissist or toxic individuals, utilize Grey Rock. Just become dull and boring. Get off the radar. That's what you need to do. Before I close the video, I will mention that there are so many key dates in the narcissistic relationship. How about the rage fits? You'll never forget the rage fit. Maybe it was in the car, you're on the freeway going 80 miles an hour, and the narcissist just screamed in your ear, or they threw something at you when you were in a restaurant, or they threw something at you in your house, or they broke something of yours, or they smashed dinner plates, or you get my point? There are key dates all sprinkled throughout the narcissistic relationship. Again, this video is not meant to trigger you. It's just meant to let you know that it's not just you, and what you experienced was real. Everything you experienced, if you're questioning yourself right now, did that happen? It did happen. Otherwise, why do you think it's crossing your mind? It's just that the narcissist probably was gaslighting you so much they didn't want you knowing your sense of reality. This is what the narcissist does. They twist and turn the narrative. That is why talking to a narcissist will never benefit you, because it doesn't matter what you say, they will come back at you a different angle, or they'll say you said something different. Talking to the brick wall behind me over my right shoulder is more productive than talking to a toxic narcissistic individual. It always has been, and it always will. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are. And remember, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is a night video because I was super busy. I know I said it in the beginning, but I want to close it out by saying that. If anybody is interested in one-on-one coaching sessions with me, drop an email at narcdailyvideos@gmail.com. That is narcdailyvideos@gmail.com. It's a little chilly. It's not that cold, but it's a little chilly, so I'm going to go inside. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.